What if the water you've been drinking every day isn't giving your body what it truly needs after 60? Today, you'll discover 5 science-backed drinks that may help support healthier circulation, stronger blood vessels, and lasting energy as you age. Hey, stop drinking plain water. I know that sounds crazy. Your doctor has been telling you to drink more water your entire life, and now I'm standing here telling you to stop. But here's what they never told you. After the age of 60, plain water alone is not enough. In fact, drinking plain water without this one simple addition may actually be leaving your blood vessels starved, your circulation sluggish, and your energy depleted, no matter how many glasses you drink per day. I'm Dr. Richard Ben, and in my years as a physician and researcher studying how food and drink interact with the human vascular system, I've seen something remarkable. The people who age the best, who stay sharp, energetic, and independent well into their 80s, are almost never just drinking plain water. They're doing something specific, something simple, and something that mainstream medicine has been embarrassingly slow to recognize. A landmark study published out of the University of Colorado found that adults over 60 who optimized their hydration with specific bioactive compounds showed up to a 43% improvement in endothelial function. That's the lining of your blood vessels compared to those who drank plain water alone. 43%. That's not a rounding error. That's the difference between a 65-year-old who feels 80 and a 65-year-old who feels 50. And before we get into the full list today, because I'm counting down 5 of the most powerful drinks you can add to your water routine from good to absolutely extraordinary, I want to tease you with number 1 right now. Number 1 is something you've probably walked past in the grocery store 100 times, maybe even dismissed it as a trend. But Harvard-affiliated researchers have connected it to a 38% reduction in arterial stiffness in adults over 70. We're going to get there, I promise. But first, before we dive in, I want to ask you something directly. How old are you right now? What's the biggest health challenge you're facing at this stage of your life? Drop it in the comments below. Tell me your age and what's bothering you most. Your energy, your circulation, your joints, your memory. I personally read every single comment on this channel, and your answer genuinely helps me decide what to cover next. So please take 10 seconds and leave that for me down below. Now, today's countdown goes from 5 to 1. 5 being powerful, 1 being the single most impactful thing you can add to your water after 60. All scientific references are linked in the description below. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, and this one surprises almost everyone I share it with, coconut water. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just a fancy sports drink? And I understand the skepticism, but here's what the research actually shows, and why it matters specifically for your aging body. A study conducted at the University of the West Indies followed adults between the ages of 62 and 74, who replaced 1 glass of plain water a day with natural coconut water. After just 8 weeks, their systolic blood pressure, that's the top number in your reading, the one your doctor watches most carefully, dropped by an average of 11 points. 11 points from a drink. Here's why this works so powerfully. After 60, as we age, our kidneys become less efficient in managing the balance between sodium and potassium in our bloodstream. Think of sodium and potassium like 2 kids on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other needs to go down for your blood pressure to stay balanced. After 65, that seesaw gets sticky. It doesn't move as freely. Coconut water is one of the richest natural sources of potassium on the planet. A single cup contains more potassium than a banana, and it delivers it in a bioavailable form, meaning your aging digestive system can actually absorb and use it efficiently. Unlike many potassium supplements that pass right through you, there's also something happening at the level of your blood vessels themselves. Coconut water contains cytoins, a class of plant compounds that research from the Journal of Ethnopharmacology has linked to reduce oxidative stress in vascular tissue. Oxidative stress, simply put, is rust forming inside your arteries. And after 70, your body's natural antioxidant defenses drop by roughly 30%. Making external support like this critically important. For practical purposes, drink 8-0 of raw, unsweetened coconut water, not the flavored varieties which are loaded with added sugar in the morning, ideally before breakfast. The synergy tip here is to pair it with a small handful of pumpkin seeds. The magnesium in those seeds works alongside the potassium in the coconut water to support healthy muscle contraction in your heart wall. Yes, your heart is a muscle, and after 60, it needs every advantage you can get. Now, coconut water is impressive, but what I'm about to tell you at number 4 is going to change how you look at your morning routine forever. Number 4 is tart cherry water, and if you have any issues with inflammation, joint pain, or nighttime sleep disruption, this one was practically made for your body. Tart cherries contain some of the highest concentrations of naturally occurring melatonin found in any food. And not just any melatonin, but melatonin packaged alongside anthocyanins, which are the deep red pigments that act like a fire extinguisher for systemic inflammation. The study published in the European Journal of Nutrition followed adults over 65 with chronic joint inflammation and found that 2 weeks of daily tart cherry consumption reduced inflammatory markers, specifically something called C-reactive protein, but by 25%. And here's the part of the story I want you to really hear. Reduced inflammation directly improves blood flow. When your blood vessel walls are inflamed, they stiffen, they narrow. Blood has to push harder to get through, and that's what raises your blood pressure and strains your heart. Let me tell you about Margaret, 71 years old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Margaret came to me frustrated. She was sleeping only 4 hours a night. Her knees ached so badly she'd stopped walking her dog. And her last checkup showed borderline high blood pressure. We talked about her hydration routine, and it was essentially plain water and 2 cups of coffee. I introduced her to tart cherry water. 2 tablespoons of tart cherry concentrate stirred into 8 ounces of water every evening around 7:00 p.m. After 6 weeks, Margaret told me she was sleeping 6.5 hours. Her knee pain had reduced enough that she was back walking her dog every morning, and her blood pressure had dropped into the normal range. One simple change to her water. After 60, your body loses a significant portion of its ability to regulate inflammatory pathways because the immune cells that manage this process, called macrophages, become dysregulated with age. This is sometimes called inflammaging, a slow chronic burn of low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Tart cherry water directly targets this mechanism. Use 2 tablespoons of unsweetened tart cherry concentrate in 8 ounces of water each evening. The synergy tip here is to add a small pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, which has been shown to enhance the absorption of anthocyanins by up to 20%. That tiny addition makes this drink measurably more effective. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear what's sitting at number 3. Before we get there, though, if you've been watching this channel for a while and you're finding real value in what we share here, would you take just one moment to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up? It sounds simple, but it genuinely helps this information reach other seniors who need it. I'm putting research-backed guidance out here because I believe every person over 60 deserves to know this, not just the people who can afford a specialist. So help me reach them. Subscribe, like, and let's keep going. Number 3, green tea water. And this isn't the green tea your grandmother served at room temperature in a floral cup. This is green tea prepared in a specific way that amplifies its most powerful vascular compound by nearly 3 times. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. I know that sounds like a word I invented, but it's real and it's extraordinary. Think of EGCG like a master key for your blood vessels. Your blood vessel walls have tiny receptors on them, almost like locks. And EGCG fits those locks and signals the vessels to relax and widen, a process called vasodilation. When your vessels widen, blood flows more freely, your heart doesn't have to work as hard, and oxygen gets delivered more efficiently to your muscles and your brain. A study from Vanderbilt University found that adults over 65 who consumed green tea regularly had a 32% lower incidence of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. 32% just from a drink. Here's why this matters specifically. After 60, your blood vessels naturally lose elasticity as you age. They become stiffer, less responsive, like a garden hose that's been left out in the sun for years. The EGCG in green tea has been shown in research from Japan's National Institute of Health and Nutrition to partially reverse the stiffening at the cellular level by reducing something called AG, advanced glycation end products, which are essentially the biological equivalent of caramelization happening inside your artery walls. The specific preparation method matters enormously here. Brew your green tea at 175 degrees Fahrenheit, not boiling, which destroys up to 40% of the EGCG content. Let it steep for exactly 3 minutes. Then let it cool slightly and drink it in the late morning around 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock a.m., which is when your body's cortisol rhythm creates an optimal window for vascular absorption. The synergy tip,